same thing.
Well, good to know you like to be on top, and
It's his way with the ladies that makes Spider-Man so amazing.
Hey.
When he booty calls Gwen Stacy at work, only to find out that a bunch of horrible creatures have escaped and are infecting everyone around them. In Vertigo, no, The Amazing Spider-Man, the video game based on the movie The Amazing Spider-Man, the reboot of the franchise hoping to erase the existence of Spider-Man 2 and 3 from the memories of those who were unfortunate enough to see them. This time around, Spider-Man has free reign of New York City, bringing the video game series back to where it was a few years ago. Web-slinging through Manhattan. That's Spider-Man, and I applaud them for bringing the series back to this.
Some stuff.
Capably handled by Beenox and Activision, The Amazing Spider-Man plays a lot like another series that doesn't really share the same audience. It's a lot like Prototype sanitized, mixed with elements clearly inspired by Batman Arkham Asylum. It deviates from the style seen in the excellent Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and somewhat repetitive Edge of Time. Even though you'll still be crawling through a lot of ventilation shafts and battling bad guys, the game is broken up with those cool outdoor web-slinging activities and lots of side missions. Parents listening should know it's not an ultra-violent game, so it's good for a younger audience who's into Spider-Man. Each rated T for teen and allows players to explore the city and collect all kinds of fun stuff, but don't try to play it like Prototype. Or that other series in Vice City. You can't carjack anyone, absorb civilians, or throw taxis into buildings. Apparently, Spider-Man is the good guy. Where's Alex Mercer when you need him?
What's up? The suit unsettles you or something? How you doing?
Of course, being me, I tried to do as much damage as possible, but you can't.
How do you do?
He's such a goody two-shoes superhero. Instead of bringing the city to its knees, you help civilians and unlock Spider-Man comic books by collecting the pages laying around Manhattan or flying in the air. There's also hidden suits, photographic opportunities, and people who need to be returned to a mental asylum. You'd think he could at least annoy the civilians a little bit, but no, you've just got to help them. Because you're Spider-Man. Who do you think you are? Batgirl? In between storyline missions, help the police, stop muggings, and just explore the city with your awesome web-slinging ability. I really have no idea what he's grappling onto half the time. Combat in the game is pretty streamlined, and most of the time Spider-Man comes across as nearly indestructible, as Spider-Man annihilates bad guys with the ferocity of Wolverine. You punch and kick enemies, and when his spider sense goes off, you get out of the way and return only to continue punching and kicking enemies, eventually just pinning them to the ground with your spider webs. It's a pretty easy game, but it is aimed at a young audience who's totally into Spider-Man, but I think this game gives you a nice sense of playing as Spider-Man. The combat is simple, but it looks cool. Spider-Man is always bouncing off walls and dropping bad guys onto their heads. You can slow down time easily and pick a spot to web sling to or grab things and throw them at enemies to stun them and then web trap them or whatever it's called. Grumpy players will point out that Spider-Man is not as refined as many of the games which it clearly borrows from, and you're right. It's not, but it's not aimed at the same audience. While I enjoyed Edge of Time and Shattered Dimensions, I'm glad to see they chose this style for The Amazing Spider-Man. That packs fun button-mashing combat along with some fun outdoor web-slinging activities.
Just stay there, pal.
Now that's just cruel, Spider-Man. What do you think this is, Metal Gear Solid? Spectacular. Spider-Man is a good time if you enjoy a none-too-serious action-adventure game with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I think you'll dig this one.
Want a taste of your own medicine?
We're watching the PlayStation 3 version. The Amazing Spider-Man is also available on Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, 3DS, Atari 5200, and Nintendo DS. Minus one of those.